Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope where you are that the weather is favorable and you don't have snow and all that white stuff. I was hoping just a little bit for some snow, but of course we didn't get any and probably won't get any. It'll just be rain, but we'll take the rain. It's probably less of a headache just to have the rain and not the snow. But anyway, all right, so let's get into today's show. So the title of today's show is Easy Like 1, 2, 3, ABC. I always want to dance when I say that. And indie publishing is the topic. So shout out to the Jackson 5 because this song was definitely on to something big. Much like anything in life, there are highs and lows, and one day you're flying high and others not so much. Now, I could give a long list of pros and cons and other comparative scenarios, but I won't. Instead, I want to talk to you today about something that has risen to the top of the ranks despite criticism, not always constructive. Criticism, and undoubtedly underappreciated. And that is, of course, indie publishing. Some might say the simplest path may not be the wisest because nothing in life is ever that easy. In most cases, that's a true statement, and much like well-defined paths, not always clear of obstacles. The inconvenient truth is that traditional publishers don't like competition in an already saturated market filled with millions of authors who decided to break away from the customary idealism. To earn respect as a writer, you must follow the traditional route. Hot and bothered that independent publishing has become like a thorn in their greedy fat paws. Why? Well, they would like to maintain control over the market and dissuade authors from exploring this widening path. Variety is necessary when considering which direction is the best for one's career. And there's nothing wrong with it. We need variety. We crave variety. What would life be if everything was just one flavor? If everything was just one color? It would be very boring. And that applies to becoming an author as well. Some have long suggested that independent publishing is an ill-conceived way to reestablish how writing and publishing are done. And I couldn't disagree with that more. And I'm here to tell you that independent publishing isn't a fad and has staying power because it allows authors to go outside the realm of traditional publishing. Now, in some company, that may be a bad word, but for independent authors all over the world, this is a wake-up call for you and me. And in this scenario, indie publishers maintain control over their work. They get to call all the shots while following the mainstays of publishing, but doing it their way. And that's important. That's crucial. You know, we understand the publishing market. We understand our readers and what they expect from us as writers, as authors. So we're not going to go out there and if you'll excuse my language, half-ass do anything because we understand in order to make it in this business, you have to be competitive. And in order to be competitive, you have to make sure that your projects or your products are just as good as those that are going the traditional route. So we understand that already. As writers, we also understand the importance of editing and formatting, marketing, and distribution. This tried and true formula will never change, no matter how fast the demand and market for less traditional ways of becoming an author trend. That's right, folks. Independent publishing is trending. It is something that has been on a steady rise now for years, as more and more authors or just they're getting off of that traditional path to becoming a published author, because there's more ways now to get it done, and DIY publishing is one of those ways. And true to the title, it is as easy as the elemental process of learning one's ABCs and counting. If you can write, you can also maneuver the mechanics of becoming your publisher too. It's not just I who feel this way about indie publishing. Many traditionally published, well-known authors agree wholeheartedly with the process of DIY publishing. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you go on to any social media platform, Facebook especially, and Instagram, you will see posts, you will see ads out there with well-known traditional published authors, offering to teach master classes to writers, to other writers, who are not known in the business. So that should tell you something. They're trying to help. They're trying to support this effort that that DIY. It's another choice. It's another avenue, to get to the same destination. If you traditionally publish, they're showing us as DIY authors that we don't have to depend on traditional publishers to make our work known. All we need is just a little bit of help to point us in the right direction, and then we can get it done. Trust and believe we can get it done. So many authors have gone off the grid when they felt trapped by the process of traditional publishing. And understand, I am not bashing traditional publishing. I'm just saying that there's more than one way to do anything. And there's nothing wrong with going this route, nor with thinking outside the box and gaining control over your destination. I mean, there is very few things in life that we control wholeheartedly. We don't control whether we're going to wake up the next day alive or dead. We have no control over that. That's in God's hands. But the things that we can control, by all means, do it. I mean, who doesn't like artistic freedom unless they're too afraid to undertake the responsibility of becoming a diva? And by diva, I mean dedicated, independent, validated author. Indie authors are natural-born trailblazers, leaders, motivated by self-awareness and a sense of artistic direction and values. Rebels, some may say about them, but no less bosses. Yes, DIY authors are bosses. Yes. And it comes down to this, folks. Whoever controls the wealth has the most say in who gets paid. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't work for me. She works hard for the money, and I'll control my purse strings. Thank you very much. My choice, well, if you haven't figured that out by now, is independence all the way. 100%. 100%. And my input is critical from start to finish, and my investment equally so. If you don't invest in yourself, who will? If you don't pump up yourself, what's the word I'm looking for? Motivate yourself. That's another word. It wasn't the one I was looking for, but it works. It fits. If you don't practice self-motivation, then how in the world are you going to expect other people to motivate you? It starts from within and flows without. Remember that. It's just like goodness. It's just like anything. It comes from the inside out, and then it just goes from there. And I want you to be the best that you can be. I don't want you to be afraid to step out there on faith. If you are a writer, if you are an author and you're unpublished, this is your chance. You can do it yourself. It is so simple. It is so easy. If you've listened to my shows in the past where I've talked about independent publishing, DIY publishing, then, I gave details of how to do it and where to go. It's so simple. Everything has a template this day and age. So it simplifies the process, dramatically. So it's not hard. If you can follow directions, then you can do this. And if you can't do it, then get someone else, someone within your family, someone who you don't actually have to pay any money. And I'm not trying to say, use your family members for free things. Don't do that. But, if they want to do it out of the goodness of their hearts for free, then please approach them and ask them for help because, I don't claim to be the most computer savvy person, but I am trained, and I can navigate it pretty well. But still, there are times when I need to ask a few questions if it's something I don't understand. So feel free to do that. Don't feel like that. Because you have to ask the question, that you feel stupid about that, and don't, because even the most highly paid or highly acclaimed person has questions. You best believe that. But anyway, if you're still confused about indie publishing, well, pray about it. Just pray about it some more, and perhaps the answer will come to you in time. And I hope you choose independence too. All right. That's all I got to say about that, because I want you to achieve. I want you to be the best that you can be. And, whether you choose to go DIY or you choose to go traditional, the choice is yours. Excuse me. To make. That's the beauty of it. You get to decide what you want to do. And listen, while you're trying to make that decision, while you're waiting on a decision, if you want to submit your work to traditional publishers, by all means, do that. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for a reply from that submission, go ahead and self-publish. There are so many traditional publishers out there who are willing to work with self-published authors, indie authors. Self-published is maybe not the best term, but independent authors, because it just sounds so much better than self-published. It really does. It sounds more professional. But anyway, and a lot of them don't care if you've already self-published or if you've already independently published your work. What they do care about is, how the process took place. They want to look at your work and make sure that it's up to par. But if they are interested in your work, they will accept it, even if you have, independently published it before. And that may help you too in the long run, because to all the independent publishers out there who are seeing great rewards from doing it themselves, then that's the time to go to a traditional publisher if you want to. Because here's the thing: if you're already making money, from your books by independently publishing them, then why do you need to go to a traditional publisher to do what you've already accomplished? To me, that makes no sense. And really what it borders on is vanity. Really, you want to be able to say that yes, I self-published, but also traditional publisher picked me up. I think, to me, there is more acclaim when you've done it yourself and you've achieved a goal that maybe you wouldn't have achieved through traditional publishing. Perhaps you got further along than you would have if you traditionally published. Now, and that's something to be proud of, because you did it yourself, you did it your way, and look at what you did, and look at what you got in the end. You're still successful, and that's the goal, to become successful on your terms. All right, folks. So I'm climbing off that soapbox right now. And before I let you go, I want to make sure that I share with you ways to stay in contact with Book Chat, brought to you each Saturday at 6 p.m. on Spreaker And having said that, here is the URL to that. So it is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me, like me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And Instagram is by invitation only, so remember that. But if you send me an invitation, I will respond to it, I promise. And if you want to check out my website, that is at https://www.authorvivianemore.com. You can also find it under authorehshepherd.com. And you can check out my blog. That is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. And if you don't want to go to Spreaker, there are so many other platforms available, starting with Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JioSaven, iTunes, Audible.com, and guys, brand new to this list is Verbal, and it's spelled VURBL, and also Luminary. All right, so we're moving on up, guys. We are moving on up. So I'm happy to share that with you, because that is another accomplishment, another unexpected accomplishment. So, you know, I'm always thankful. I'm always grateful for the blessings that God pours upon me. I'm so appreciative, because he doesn't have to do anything, but he does it because of who he is and not who I am. And on that note, also, tomorrow is worship day. Every day should be worship day, but on Sundays especially, we get to all come together, you know, under one heading to, you know, to give God some of our time, to you know, to congregate as a unit, you know, as one, and to hear the word, and that's important. And I know my church, we're still not going into the building. We're still doing it over the phone each Sunday, every Wednesday and every Sunday. But there are a lot of churches that have opened the doors, and you know, some are wearing masks and some aren't. So, you know, you need to be careful, because COVID hadn't gone anywhere. It is still around, and there are some strands that were worse than the first one that's out there. So please be careful, be mindful of others, be safe, you know, for yourself and for those around you. And you know, if you can have church over the phone, or have it, you know, over live streams from the internet or Facebook or whatever, please do that. Because that's a whole lot better than actually going out and being exposed or exposing someone to an illness that is completely avoidable. You know, if you just practice the safety measures that's been established already. And also, you know, for the little children, they need to hear a word too, because, you know, these are big things that are happening, and they may not understand everything. You know, I'm sure they understand some things, but not everything. So, you know, just like the word comes to us, it also calms down children. And remember, too, to tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you, and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.